and then your fellow firefighters over in Mount Vernon is having a fire. Are you telling me that you're not supposed to come over and help? That's what mutual aid is about. Mutual aid says, look, you're having fires in Mount Vernon, you're having fires in Yonkers. Okay, brothers, since you don't have fires over there, we want you to come over here and help a fellow firefighter put out the fires. What's wrong with that?
Now I want to interrupt real quick.
Hold on. Let me tell you why.
We have somebody on the call.
You want to keep him in shape. You want to keep him in shape?
Right.
Keep him all in shape.
So I'm saying that's what mutual aid is about.
Right. Now, I want to give you a chance to explain that because it has been twisted over. It has been taken.
You know why? You know why?
And I wrote my article and I stand by it.
No, but it's not just. But it's.
But we have a caller. I believe Richard Thomas is on the line. Is that true?
This is Richard Thomas.
Okay. Welcome to
and
People Before Politics.
I'm calling to clarify a few things. First and foremost, let's be clear about the vote on Memorial Field.
Before you do,
and I just,
Richard,
I just want to jump right in.
Before you do, we need you to be brief too, because we're coming to the close of the show. So.
I hear you, but I just want to be very clear about with respect to how things work. On the vote with respect to Memorial Field, let's not forget that I did file a FOIA request for the certified payroll. I filed a request with the law department to see all the permits and the paperwork. I filed requests that were responded to by you, Ernie, and the law department saying that these records don't exist last year, and they were met with much coverage, AJ, on your website, blackwestchester.com. So let's not mislead people, because if we're going to talk about votes, let's get back to the facts. And at the end of the day, the dirt that's at Memorial Field, I don't recall ever agreeing to that, and the cost to remove it is going to be costly depending upon what's there. So right now I know that the field has been shut, and regardless of what you say about the tennis courts, our kids can't afford it. You go and talk to the tennis moms and Lennox and all the people that play on it for a couple of hours, it's not people from Mount Vernon. And at the end of the day, the person that has the contract didn't put a nickel up. So I don't see what's in it for our community. So let's not romanticize and mislead the public about what's really going on. And right now, this is the type of stuff that further divides us. So at the end of the day, let's stay on the facts and not get too distracted on things that are just fiction.
Let's talk about the facts. The fact of the matter is the person that has the contract, that bubble that goes over the tennis courts costs $1 million. The person that has a contract is going to do all of the interiors. And once we close it, they are in charge of all the interiors. So right off the bat, we're talking about an investment of over $1 million and a quarter dollars. So that's
on the backs of our kids that cannot afford to play there. So I don't want to get lost and going splitting hairs on this. At the end of the day, Memorial Field has been shut, and what's there should be pretty clear and well-documented information, and it's not available. So I don't want to hear, stories after stories about, we're moving things around and we're making things work. We're creating costs, and out of your own representation back in April, we're $5 million in the hole. So I don't know, what's good about that. So at the end of the day, I would like to have a workable relationship with you, Ernie. I've tried to meet with you for 3 years straight, and each meeting has been canceled at your cancellation. I can't say anything other than I will continue to make myself available, but we all have to meet on the level if we're going to part on the square.
Now, while I have both of y'all here, I have the incoming mayor on the phone, I have the current mayor in the studio. Can we set a meeting for y'all two to meet next week or something? Can we set something? Can we agree? Can we at least get an agreement that y'all two will meet?
I have no problems with meeting with anybody.
Okay, Mr. Thomas.
No, I just before we even get to that, we got like 4 minutes. I just want to know there was charges made that he didn't receive paperwork.
That's correct.
Any paperwork that we have.
I'll get it now. I mean, I'm coming in January, so we're going to get it.
Just let the mayor talk.
There is no hesitant about giving. I have reams of information that we've given to the county. Anybody who wants it there's nothing to hide.
Certified payroll. Let's have it tomorrow.
I don't have certified payrolls.
And then that's a problem, because any public works project, tax dollar money has to have certified payroll. So these are the types of problems that we have,
What type of
gentlemen.
payroll are you talking about?
Certified. Making sure that the people that are working down there are getting paid prevailing wage, making sure that all the documents from insurance, all the permits, all the engineering, everything is signed off on. But if none of that is available, then we have to stop, because it's in the interest of public safety and public health. That's it.
Mayor-elect Thomas, I would advise you strongly to dissuade yourself of the
Listen, I don't need a lecture about
you
anything
need a
other
lecture
than being very
because
clear with you that.
you've made
Listen, no, Ernie. With all due respect, I've asked for this information for more than 2 years.
So you're going to shut everything
and I'm
down
going to
until you
continue
get
to
a
ask
payroll?
for it, because look, at the end of the day, nobody agreed to a 3-story high mountain of dirt that goes over 150 yards. And if you do $50 a yard to remove, it does escalate the cost. You talk to any contractor in town, you can talk to
we have one
but at the end of the day, let's not
right.
remove ourselves from the facts. Memorial Field is shut, and the tennis courts are unaffordable for our kids.
Hold on, wait. One
I just want to be clear with
we have a
everybody
contractor
that,
right here, Andre.
Yes.
Would you confirm or disagree with the allegations that are saying that it's going to cost this amount of money?
I disagree. It will not cost that type of money. It will not. And like I said before, I checked the fill myself. It's item 4 is clean fill. I went up there. I took samples. I picked up the dirt. I kicked the dirt around. I walked up there. I had interviews with the guy because I want to know, coming in as a councilman, what's going on myself. To remove it's not going to be millions of dollars. It's not.
But why would you move it anyway?
Well, I see that they already steamrolled, tampered, and did it. And I had that conversation with you. I spoke to you. I spoke to Morton. I spoke to Bovey. Not Bovey, but a few others. On the height of it, the elevation is, I think, off. I wanted to see what's up with the elevation. I think they put a little too much mound there. But you could always take that, spread that around in other parts, because you're going to need that in other parts, in those fields. And even with the rocks, you could bring a rock crusher in and crush up the rest of it, make more item for the continuation of what we have to do.
I received a text message from someone who wants to set the record straight. Mrs. Wallace said, "Not all politicians get killed in my country. My uncle, who was a vice mayor, and his city was murdered in his campaign for mayor. But even if I didn't want Andre to be in politics, because I didn't want him to be a politician, I am supporting his calling to be a public servant, because he really wants to make a positive difference. And I know that he and a few others who can really deliver. Plus, AJ, I know you, Damon, and Frank will help keep him accountable to his words." So we wanted to read that message that she sent me a while ago, and I didn't get a chance to read.
Thank you, honey.
So,
but
last words.
Let me just say one other thing about Memorial Field. All of the bickering going back and forth is going to have to stop, because at the end of the day, we're all going to have to come together, figure out what we're going to do with this plan, and move this thing forward to get it done right away. Because the people of Mount Vernon had suffered long enough. We can't rip the tennis courts out. Now, that would be costly. We can't go back and pull off the mound and all of that stuff and take those tennis courts out, because they're almost done. So going back and trying to turn around and rip things out and do that and redo it, it would not work for the community. We just need to go and figure out what the best way to do it is. And my difference with Ernie was the stands that I said they had to come down. We're on the same page to take them down, and to kind of rebuild it in that kind of same old memorial type of look and bring it around and stuff, and that'll work. And then we could just get that done, and we could all agree on this. We could move this forward, and Mayor-elect should not be arguing about that point. We should be getting ready to cut some ribbons, man, and get this thing to go. That's what we should be focusing on.
Mr. Thomas, are you still on the line?
I'm still on the line.
Can I
listen,
briefly?
At the end of the day, we have to figure out how to get beyond this $5 million gap.
I got you.
And we can talk about cutting ribbons, but first we got to get through these books.
I got you. We got 5 minutes left in the show, and I wanted to give you a chance, just briefly, very, very briefly. What is it going to take for everybody to come together? In your opinion, what is it? We need, because right now, and I told you this when I've had you on the show. I've told Mayor Davis this in his office. At this point, the people of Mount Vernon.
I'm going to tell you what it's going to take. It's going to take for Ernie and his team to open up the books and have an honest dialogue. Like he has said, we have spoken in the past, but those books have been shut like a clamshell. So now that we're winding down and coming up to the new administration, I look forward to getting uninhibited access to try and have an honest dialogue on the facts, so we don't have to have this back and forth. This all could have been avoided, but yeah, can we look forward? Absolutely. But I'm going to keep a careful eye on the past, because at the end of the day, $5 million as of April was the hole that we have to overcome.
Okay,
and that's where we are.
One last thing, you're talking about books, and just for a layman, because I'm not a politician, I don't work in City Hall, and I am learning. Wouldn't it be the controller who would be the one that would control the books and the payroll?
Not necessarily. Look, you still have people on the executive side that are administering these budgets and these projects. And, Andre can be one of the people that has been on the receiving end of, on the executive side, not following through and administering the budget to get paid on a project. I'm pointing to just the plain facts. If we have people from Mount Vernon working at Memorial Field, we need to know what that work was, when it happened, and we have to get to the bottom of it. And as we all know, we don't have any paperwork as to what's going on down at Memorial Field, and it's not fair to the public. And we can talk about the tennis courts, and again, I just can't get over the fact that they are unaffordable for our kids. Nobody agreed to that, and that's part of the reason why it's going to be very difficult to have a discussion when we have no papers to work off of.
Hold on. One second. I remember when we were talking, even at the city council meetings, when we were speaking about the 8-lane track, and a lot of people was at the city council meetings saying that the tennis courts, it shouldn't be that many tennis courts, right? And I know I was there because I spoke in favor of Councilman Reynolds. You were in favor of the change. You were in favor of these tennis courts, because I remember. So that's what is confusing to people about this whole situation, because of the fact that there have been city council meetings where you sat there as city councilman, and which people were against the project moving forward the way it is today, the way the tennis courts are today, and you voted for the project and you defended the project. Because Deborah Reynolds at the time was the only one that was saying that.
Understand, as I stated, when I asked for the information to justify the vote, the information has never been provided.
So why did you vote for it?
But because on Ernie's word that he was going to provide the information, never provided.
Nobody. With all due respect, brother, nobody votes for a project that they don't have the information on, especially at millions of dollars.
In Mount Vernon. This is how it worked.
No, it doesn't work.
This is part of the dilemma, Damon, that I've been explaining for such time.
But then you should have abstained from the vote or voted no.
Damon,
you didn't
one
have
second,
the information.
Damon, I'm trying to answer your question, and the point is very simple. When this was presented, it was clear that we were going to have access to the information. But when that information wasn't forthcoming, that's when things had to come back to us for reconsideration. And as it came back, that's when I made it very clear that I want the documents and I'm not voting for it. And this is why, as of last summer, when we made it very clear that I was not going to get in on the information, I'm definitely making sure that the public knows we are not for the extra cost of Memorial Field.
So you voted for it. So you voted for it before you got the documents, but you never got the documents, but you still put a vote in. And that's what's confusing, and that's what's confusing the people, and that's what's confusing the listeners.
It can be confusing, but also the city of Mount Vernon has not made the information available to make the decision on completely.
Okay.
At the point in time when it was presented, the original design was going to be over budget, and as presented, what Ernie presented was going to be more affordable. But when I asked for more details, it was wait, continue to wait. More and more money, more and more costs were incurred. And as was explained in April, $5 million in the hole. So things unfortunately changed, and I relied on his representations as mayor. And that's what council members do.
No. Council members vote.
Hold on, Damon. Can I say one thing though? Because I got to come in and I got to start making votes too. So I need to understand the process myself. Being in that position, is there something where I could just say, okay, I'm not going to vote on this request for more information, and I could wait until I get that information before I cast that vote? Is that something that we can hold out and do?
Yes.
Because if that's the case, I'm just saying that was an option that could have been taken, from all of the council members until that information was supplied by the mayor.
Well, and we are coming to the close of the show. We're actually over the time of our show, so we're coming to say goodbye. And this is obviously a topic that we could have another conversation for the next 3 or 4 hours, so I'm sure it won't be the last time we discuss it. Mayor-elect Thomas, you know how to get in touch with me if you want to continue this conversation in Black Westchester, or come up to the show and have more of your say. Mayor Davis, while you're here, very briefly, I want to give you the chance to say the last words, and that's going to be the last words of the show.
Number one, we all have jobs to do, and we have to have a big picture. This is not about gotcha politics. Till the election is over, the people have spoken, and now the whole new roles have to be realized. We have the council people here. We have the mayor-elect here. If we want to get things done, we cannot smother it with all sorts of things that does nobody any good. There's no reason to put out there that there's some untowardness in the way we've done business. We've strictly above board. There's no money to be taken. We're struggling trying to get the money. And as far as the county is concerned, the county has given us a contract that requires us to fix 4.5 miles of road. We have not, we have done that, and the county has reneged on its deal. So there's a whole conversation that needs to be had that I don't think the mayor-elect understands. And you can't keep changing. You talk about building Memorial Field, next thing you know, you're accusing the facility not being affordable to people, and then you shift it over to soil that's not good. And then
for time, effort, I'm going to give you at least a chance, a second to talk about tomorrow.
Talk about your event tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. Tomorrow, I hope you all come out. We need to knit the city back together. A lot of people have said that there's nothing has happened, and a lot of people obviously believe that. We want to give a chance to say goodbye to a lot of people and thank them for their support. It's going to be at 7 o'clock at the Surf Club. We invite all of you to come out and support this effort. I think this is one of the things that can start to talk to each other. A lot of people like to talk about each other, and very few of us want to talk to each other. There's nothing to hide, and there's nothing to be gained by being villainous and non-cooperative. It's time for us to move the city on. The people expect that we will do that, and the world is waiting to see how we manage this very tenuous situation that we've gotten ourselves in. But I do believe that we can do that, and with the people and help keep as Jesse Jackson said, keep hope alive.
Well, with that, we're going to end with that. We want to thank Mayor Davis for taking his time to come. We definitely greatly appreciate it.
Thank you.
And we
for having
hope to be able to talk to you more in Black Westchester. And the Fleetwood Citizen Society is having their monthly meeting Tuesday, November 17th at the Riverside Memorial Chapel. And the guest speakers will be Senator Jeff Klein and Mayor-elect Richard Thomas. And what they said is both will be available to answer questions. So because he called late and we didn't get a chance to really let him talk, he will be at Riverside Memorial Church on Tuesday, where you can continue this conversation with him and hear what he has to say. With that, you could be doing anything right now, but you chose to ride with us, and we greatly appreciate it. Until next time, peace.
You will not be able to stay home, brother. You will not be able to plug in, turn on, and cop out. You will not be able to lose yourself on Skag and skip out for beer during commercials because the revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be brought to you by Xerox in 4 parts without commercial interruptions. The revolution will not show you pictures of Nixon blowing a bugle and leading a charge by John Mitchell, General Abrams, and Spyro Agnew to eat hog maws confiscated from a Harlem sanctuary. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be brought to you by the Schaefer Award Theater and will not star Natalie Woods and Steve McQueen or Bullwinkle and Julia. The revolution will not give your mouth sex appeal. The revolution will not get rid of the nub. The revolution will not make you look 5 pounds thinner because the revolution will not be televised, brother. There will be no pictures of you and Willie Mae pushing that shopping cart down the block on the dead run or trying to slide that color TV into a stolen ambulance. NBC will not be able to predict the winner at 8:32 on report from 29 districts. The revolution will not be televised.